It is 2 a.m. on the U.S. East Coast. The newest threat from North Korea, it claims to be ready to launch an intercontinental ballistic missile anytime, anywhere. That's the quote. It was just last week the country said that it was close to testing this long-range missile. Let's go live to South Korea. Our Paula Hancock is following this story in Seoul this hour. Paula, North Korea is saying that they are doing this specifically because of the United States. Help our viewers to understand the context here.
Well, George, this is something that we've been hearing for many years, even decades. North Korea blaming the United States for their arms development, saying that they need to have this nuclear and missile program so that they can protect themselves against what they call a hostile policy of the United States. So this is really in keeping of what we've seen for many, many years now. We heard on Sunday from North Korea that they said that they could launch an intercontinental ballistic missile at any time and from any location. It really just depends on the North Korean leader, Kim Jong-un, to give the green light. So an increase in rhetoric once again. We heard Kim Jong-un on New Year's Day in his New Year's Day address say that he was close to launching an ICBM, which of course could hit mainland United States in theory. And then just one day later, we heard from President-elect Donald Trump saying it's not going to happen. So this is really a response to that. We are not seeing Donald Trump himself being mentioned, though, by North Korea. There's no combative language when it comes to the president-elect, but they are saying once again that they blame the United States for the fact that they feel the need to have this ICBM program. George?
So, Paula, the increased rhetoric, we're seeing that. The claim has been made. It's causing a great deal of concern, but there have always been doubts about the North's capabilities. Is there any new reason to believe now that they are truly able to carry it out?
Well, obviously, the one person who knows the answer to that is Kim Jong-un himself. Those outside of North Korea, the intelligence community, the governments, the officials, the experts, they can just effectively guess. They can see what North Korea has been saying. They can look at satellite images. They can see what's happened, for example, with the satellite launch that North Korea carried out just over a year ago. North Korea said this was peaceful. They launched a satellite into space, but experts say that's the same technology as an ICBM. All you have to do is you take the satellite off the top of that rocket and you put a nuclear warhead or a conventional warhead. And really, it's a little more complicated than that, but then you have an ICBM. What hasn't been tested, though, at least what hasn't been seen physically, is the re-entry of this missile, the re-entry into the Earth's orbit and to be able to strike a target. That has not been proven, but US officials have consistently said they have to take what Pyongyang says seriously. It would be far too dangerous to assume that they are not telling the truth. You have to err on the side of caution.
Paula, you touched on this just a bit, but let's go just a little further with the issue of timing. South Korea, as you have reported, has been mired in domestic issues with its president. And here in the United States, we are less than 2 weeks away from a transition of power to a new president who has said about North Korea's threats that it's not going to happen. Is this an opening for the North?
Well, it's important, I think, George, to look at the last couple of months. Until just before the US election, North Korea had been remarkably quiet. When you consider what happened in 2016, they carried out 2 nuclear tests, a myriad of missile tests, of rocket launches, and also this satellite launch back in February. So they really had been in an incredible rush to try and perfect this nuclear and missile technology. But before the election, things calmed down. We haven't heard too much that's been bellicose from North Korea. Many experts say it could well be that they simply don't know what Donald Trump's North Korea policy is. They may even be concerned about what his reaction to any missile launches or ICBM launches might be. It's the fear of the unknown. So that could well be one of the reasons that we are seeing a quieter North Korea, or at least a more well-behaved, if you like, North Korea. George?
Paula Hancock's following the story for us live in Seoul, South Korea. Paula, thank you so much for your reporting.